A beautiful day in Coronado. Welcome back. The Wall Lab at the Salk Cancer Center has been investigating whether breast cancer is fueled by abnormalities in early stem cells. A new paper is now reporting embryonic stem cells have some of the same features as breast cancer cells. And here now to talk about that and details of the study, we have Deputy Director of the Salk Cancer Center, Jeffrey Wall. Thanks for being here. And also Dr. Raj Garati is with us to explain what this all means. Let's begin with you, Doctor. Talk about why you decided to study this particular issue.
So I've always been interested in trying to understand how we can resolve breast cancer therapies. It's one of the deadliest and aggressive cancer. And I've had my history of studying different cell types. And one of the unique things about breast cancer is that we know more about genes, but we know less about different types of cells that we see in these patients. So I started by looking at different types of cells and the power of these breast cancer cells to generate different types of cells. And that's what intrigued me, because they're really powerful and flexible to generate a variety of cells.
So why is this study so significant, and what were the findings?
Thanks very much for your interest and for asking us to come down. The Salk Institute, for the first time in its history, has a Conquering Cancer initiative, which is designed to address 5 of the most difficult types of cancers to treat. One of those is the brain cancer that you talked about before that took Senator John McCain and Beau Biden. Glioblastoma. Another one is triple-negative breast cancer. This is the kind of breast cancer for which there are no targeted therapies. And my goal for many years has been trying to understand triple-negative breast cancer, and especially the process of metastasis, where cells move from the site of origin to distant sites in the body, because that's what kills people. The importance of our study is that it relates to problems that were first identified in the late 1800s, where the notion came about that cancers could resemble the most primitive cells of the organ at the time of their formation in the embryo, which is really a remarkable hypothesis. Nobody studied it. It's been so difficult. And for the first time, Raj in my lab and others, our collaborators, were able to isolate these cells, identify them, look at all the genes within them, and remarkably find that the genes being expressed in these very primitive cells are very similar to those that are being expressed in these very aggressive triple-negative breast cancers.
So does this mean that eventually we'll be able to guess or predict who will get this very virulent form of breast cancer? And more importantly, what does this mean in terms of finding a treatment?
Right. So what we have done in this study is we have created an atlas of genetic signatures of these primitive cells, and we have created the genetic atlas of these cells in breast cancer as well. What's now required is to look into this atlas in depth, look at different gene-gene interactions, and come up with therapies. And because of the similarities with the embryos and the breast cancer cells, we think that it shouldn't be difficult to come up with a therapy and that we can test in the lab.
So interestingly, we have another study that's just coming out today that I can't talk about because it's still embargoed, but you can invite us back. And in that one, we use this atlas to probe the genes in detail, and we find that there are some targets that we already have drugs for to intercept these metastatic cells.
Well,
that's how fast cancer research is going.
Very exciting news, especially how artificial intelligence is making major headways in treatments.
There's enough artificial intelligence in the world. This is real intelligence.
Yeah. Well, we look forward to having you back. Thanks so much, and congratulations on your findings, and look forward to sharing with our viewers the embargoed study that will be released later this week.
Appreciate it.
Doctors. All right, Alan, back to you.
Thanks, Sandra.